ache for the touch of your lips, dear, but much more for the touch of your whips, dear. You can raise welts like nobody else as we dance to the masochism tango. Let our love be a flame, not an ember. Say it's me that you want to dismember. Blacken my eye, set fire to my tie as we dance to the masochism tango. At your command, before you here I stand. My heart is in my hand. Ugh, it's here that I must be. My heart entreats, just hear those savage beats, and go put on your cleats and come and trample me. Your heart is hard as stone or mahogany. That's why I'm in such exquisite agony. My soul is on fire, it's aflame with desire, which is why I perspire when we tango. You caught my nose in your left castanet, love. I can feel the pain yet, love, every time I hear drums. And I envy the rose that you held in your teeth, love, with the thorns underneath, love, sticking into your gums. Your eyes cast a spell that bewitches. The last time I needed 20 stitches to sew up the gash you made with your lash as we dance to the masochism tango. Bash in my brain and make me scream with pain, then kick me once again and say we'll never part. I know too well I'm underneath your spell, so darling, if you smell something burning, it's my heart. Excuse me. Take your cigarette from its holder and burn your initials in my shoulder. Fracture my spine and swear that you're mine as we dance to the masochism tango.
Good evening. I would like to report on the state of our war against the American people. We're mounting a sustained campaign to crack down on every American and every person of every faith and every nation, and to bring them to justice. All missions are being executed according to plan, without warning or provocation. Americans are being swept up in an international dragnet. Thousands of FBI agents are on the trail of other citizens here and abroad. It has everything to do with hate and evil and murder and prejudice. America is strong.
Federal agents, we are armed!
What would you do if you knew all the things we knew? Would you stand up for truth? Or would you turn away too? And then what if you saw all of the things that's wrong? Would you stand tall and strong? Or would you turn and walk away? What would you do if you knew all the things we knew? Would you stand up for truth? Or would you turn away too? And then what if you saw all of the things that's wrong? Would you stand tall and strong? Or would you turn and walk
I see a message from the government, like every day. I watch it and listen and call them all suckers. They wanted me about Osama or whatever. Picture me buying the scam, I said never. You in tune to a hard truth soldier spitting. I stay committed, gives a fuck to die, I lose commission. It's all a part of fighting devil state mind control, and all about the battle for your body, mind, and soul. And now I'm hoping you don't close your mind so they shape you. Don't forget they made us slaves, gave us AIDS and raped us. Another push season mean another war for profit. All in secret so the public never think to stop it. The Illuminati, 666, all connected. Stole the votes, they control the race and take elections. It's the Skull and Bones Freemason Kill Committee. See the dragon getting shittier in every city.
What would you do if you knew all the things we knew? Would you stand up for truth? Or would you turn away too? And then what if you saw all of the things that's wrong? Would you stand tall and strong? Or would you turn and walk away?
Now ask yourself who's the one with the most to gain. For 9/11 motherfuckers couldn't stand his name. Now even niggas waving flags like they lost their mind. Everybody got opinions but don't know the time. Cause America's been took, it's plain to see. The oldest trick in the book is making enemy. A phony evil so the government can do its dirt and take away your freedom, lock and load, beat and search. Ain't nothing changed but more colored people locked in prison. These pigs still beat us, but it seems we forgetting. But I remember 4 September how these devils do it. Fuck Giuliani, ask Diallo how he doing. We in the streets, holler jail to the thief. Follow, fuck waving flags, bring these dragons to their knees. Oil, blood, money, make these killers ride cold. Suspicious suicide, people dying never told. It's all a part of playing God, so you think we need them. While being Ashcroft, take away your rights to freedom. Bear witness to the sickness of these dictators. Hope you understand the time, brother, cause it's major.
What would you do if you knew all the things we knew? Would you stand up for truth? Or would you turn away too? And then what if you saw all of the things that's wrong? Would you stand tall and strong? Or would you turn and walk away?
So now you asking why my records always come the same. Keep it real, ain't no fillers, motherfucker blinging. Mine eyes seen the glory of the coming of the beast. So every story, every word I'm saying, fuck peace. See, you could witness the Illuminati body count. Don't be surprised, these is devils that I'm talking about. You think a couple thousand lies mean shit to killers? Nigga, I swear to God, we the ones, ain't no villains. Or any other word they think to demonize a country. Ain't no terror threat unless approval rating slumping. So I'ma say it for the record, we the ones that planned it. Ain't no other country took a part or had their hand in. Just a way to keep you scary so you think you need them. Praising Bush while that killer take away your freedom. How many of us got discovered but ignore the symptoms? Niggas talking loud but ain't nobody saying shit. And with the 4th Amendment gone, eyes are on the 1st. That's why I'm spitting cyanide each and every verse. I see the Carlisle group and Harris bank accounts. I see them bleed the 5th each and every session now. And while Reichstag burns, see the public buy it. I see the profiling, see the media's compliance. War's good for business, see the vicious make a savior. Hope you understand the time, brother, cause it's major.
What would you do if you knew all the things we knew? Would you stand up for truth? Or would you turn away too? And then what if you saw all of the
much money they've spent trying to silence good people who have put their lives on the line to fight for change.
Yeah, it's Paris on Widdershins. What the fuck am I hearing myself for?
Why is there an echo?
Yeah. You heard that?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that was me.
It
All
was
right.
you.
Well, yeah, but I thought it was just me hearing it. Widdershins!
Widdershins!
Radio for your spiritual side. Twisted approach to the left-hand path. Broadcasting to you live or in the archives from Widdershins Tower.
Tower.
Widdershins. And we got us a special guest. We're like 2 minutes away from our special guest already, because we likes to rock out a bit.
And our dog is here.
Yeah, we likes to rock
Our
out a
other
bit.
dog is here. So we're watching.
And there's a shortage of good spiritual music out there in some genres, and I find all those songs that we just played very spiritual. Even the Masochism Tango, Tom Lehrer, spiritual
That's a good
songs.
one.
Yeah, it's a good one. It lifts my spirits.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even Paris.
That's why we're here.
That's right. In Paris, of course, my political, spiritual side, because politics become political of late. But we, without much ado here, we got St. Elias going to be calling us right now. See, I told you. I hate that little song it has to play, though. Let me see. It's got to be St. Elias because nobody else knows the number. Hello, sir. You are on the air.
This is me. How are you?
Oh, wow. I can't hear you. Can you hear you?
I can hear you. Can you hear
clicking
me?
A couple buttons. Yeah, I see you. I see you on the board, but hold on. I might have to switch.
Do you want me to just?
Say hi to our audience while I plug stuff in.
Hello?
There you go. I think I hear you there.
Okay, I can hear me a little bit.
Yeah. Sounds good. I had to go headphones just to hear it. But yeah. All right. Well, hello. Welcome to Widdershins, sir. Busy man that you are. I'm glad you were able to make it
Thank
on the
you.
show.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I gotta be honest. I was like midstream with something. I was like, I gotta get on that show.
Uh-huh. And how are things at the new shop?
Things are going well. I couldn't ask for anything more. It's already becoming something all its own, which is what I think spirit is truly present when you aren't in control of it anymore. It's just rolling.
Funny noise there. There we go.
Hello?
Yeah, I heard you. Yeah, my mic was tripping for a second there, but it looks like I fixed it. So, what was it? A week, 2 weeks ago? When did you open? You just opened. For those that don't know out there.
The grand opening was June 20. The grand opening was June 21st. So we're with babies, we're the new kids on the block.
New kids on the block. It's impressive. Those of you that haven't seen it online, got some good pictures. Nice. It's actually a brick and mortar made of bricks, and I imagine mortar.
And mortar.
You don't see in this day and age too often.
Yeah, and this is really special to find. New Orleans is so old. It's such an old city, and it's an old building. So it really lends itself well to us giving our message of an old practice. So it feels like the perfect fit for what I want to do. We had the crawfish boil, and the neighbors loved it as well. So we're in good with our community, our local, our neighborhood. So that's a blessing. It's just everything came together better than I could have imagined.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I knew it would. You could see how excited.
Well, I
people
didn't.
were online when they were just leading up to it. You know, there was excitement in the air. And I'm excited
that's
to
a
see it
blessing.
next year.
Yeah, thank you. It's definitely an offering from the heart, something that I love doing, and it's better than I could have imagined. It's taken off all by its own, so that's great. At least it feels like it's all by its own. God knows I put in hours, but I couldn't ask for it to be better than it is.
So you've been operating online for how long?
For about 3 years, 15, 16, 17, 3 years. We started in 2015. And so I had clients come to my home. I would do spiritual services for them at my house. I would do tarot readings for them at my house, and that's how they would be able to find me. They could find me online, and then they can come to my house. It was, but it got to a point where I was just having too much traffic come in and out of my home, and it was just messing with my living situation. I prayed, and I was like, hey, if you want me to continue doing this, I need a physical location. It's time. And things came about from there.
Well, yeah. I mean, right away I'm thinking about that. I'm going, well, that's nice that you were able to do that, and a valuable service to your community that probably became a real pain in the ass for you personally over time.
Yeah, no, it was. That's true. It was a pain in the ass. It was something that I love doing, of course, but opening up my house to people, and then sometimes people don't really respect time frames. So you tell them, hey, got to go at this time, and something happens, and they're having an experience, and they say, you can't, tell someone who's having an experience to, to go. You can't kick them out. So
yeah, that's a good thing about regular business hours, I guess, and a place away from your house.
Yeah.
Because
it
the
is.
people that you're going to see, those are people that have. They're having a problem. So somebody might have a problem at 3 a.m, banging on your door.
Yeah, and then they bring that, and then they have a problem, so something's wrong clearly, and they're bringing that inside your house. So I had to do cleansings on a regular basis to get what they came in with off of them and my house. So with the business, it's just a little different. I can leave the business if I need to. I got to go home and go to sleep. So a little different.
Yeah. Well, when I had my my brick and mortar, we had regularly scheduled spiritual cleansings, as well as mopping the floor and all that kind of stuff too. But it's easier to do in a business setting than in your house.
Yeah, we do it. We do it. We try to do it every morning at the shop. But I'm trying to implement these things that I can pass on to my employees and let them know that this has to be done every morning. If they actually do it or not is up to them. But I tell them, hey, you're going to feel a little better throughout your workday if you actually participate in this.
Absolutely. That's to delegate some things.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, I've been watching your videos for quite some time. Those of you that don't know, Elias has instructional videos teaching you all manner of things. Are those coming through YouTube, or where are you housed?
Well, they go on the videos go on YouTube. Some of them are on the website itself, and they're just intro videos. They're just basic information that I think that someone who may be looking into occult practice may be interested in. Some of them have to do with how to use my products, since people ask about that. And I like to tell people that you're not going to be able to become this big watching YouTube videos, but it may be a place to start. Try to put some information out there, hopefully inspire a few people, and hopefully, grow a community.
Yeah.
For the purposes of Crescent City Conjure.
Well, I'll tell you, I got involved in YouTube. I wasn't into it at all. It was untraditional and against the rules, and you weren't allowed to do shit like that. I said to myself, right when this 13-year-old kid suggested it, said, you should be on YouTube teaching witchcraft. No, you can't do that. No. As soon as I opened my mouth and heard myself speak, I sound like such an old fart. I made my first video a couple minutes later, and there's just, you can't get hung up on the way, some of the ways our ancestors did things. We have the information superhighway. They did not. We're going to operate differently. Have oral instruction on the floor of your living room every night. No, that's it. Those days are over. You can reach.
Well, you know what? I fault myself. Yeah, I fault myself about a few things that I'm putting out online. I fight myself about everything I put out online. I have to tread a very careful, line of not crossing any initiations, anything that should be initiatory and kept secret, anything that I personally treasure and I don't want to share. It's so valuable that I don't even want to share it with people because it was hard won. I have to make sure not to say stuff about that. I try not to offend anybody, and then sometimes I'm like, fuck it. If they're offended, then they're offended. So it's just, I think it's good. And like you said, we have tools available to us that our ancestors didn't. And so we should utilize those tools. I think it's important. I think there's so much misinformation out there that I think adding some real information, something that's actually good and inspires people is beneficial on all platforms, including YouTube.
Yeah. And I watch my, my analytics, and over the years, the people watching on an iPhone or an Android phone, mobile device, just increases. It's like the majority of the audience now. It's like there's people out there learning these occult arts on a phone, who knows where. What a world. Our ancestors couldn't have conceived of it.
Couldn't have imagined. I hope they're actually practicing and dedicating themselves to this and not just using it for entertainment, something cool to watch. That's really my hope. That's really my hope. But hey, you put this information out there, and if you touch one person and you ignite one fire, then it's worth it.
Yeah. I made my my channel not easy to find for quite a while. Just that the Freak Phil 1309. Who the hell's going to search for that? And,
why did you decide to do that?
Stayed free of a lot of trolls. I just, I wanted to be out there and accessible, but not easy to find. And that's not really a good idea. I mean, it kept the trolls away, but it's not really the best idea if that's the way you're gonna, make your way in the world. You got to be open to the truth.
Yeah, probably. Probably. I made myself hard to find, I think, because I just didn't know what the hell I was doing. And so I just kind of put it up there and thought, it's on YouTube, so people will see it. Nah, you got to work with YouTube, and YouTube has to work with you. So that was a whole journey. I mean, this whole thing is a journey. How to maintain authenticity, but also put things on in spaces that aren't traditional. How do you do that? So it's definitely a thin line.
Absolutely. So yeah, for a while I had your commercials popping up in my feed on like news services and things like that. And so like even if I had missed your videos, I caught up on a lot of them. And there was, I think I saw one on candle dressing, didn't I?
Yeah, you said what?
I think you had a video on candle dressing that I saw pop up in my.
Yes, I did. Well, I was playing around with how to communicate with, with this social media stuff, and the videos were out a little too much for my taste at that time. But that was an experience. I back, and I definitely needed to scale down. But it's all a process. You're all tweaking. It's all about tweaking it and finding out the best formula for what makes me comfortable, where I'm comfortable at with, and what amount of exposure the business is comfortable with are both very important. And that during that time, that was not a comfort level, but it was just something that just get some exposure for the business, so I can't balk at it.
I hear you. So, whenever I have a hoodoo practitioner or a conjure worker that's a professional out there in the world, I always have one question that I always like to ask: glass candle dressing, glitter or no glitter?
Fuck no glitter. I'm sorry. No glitter. No that shit. I hate it to high hell. And it's funny that you stepped on that. I hate it. I'm sorry. it's just so people like to talk about why they do it, and every time someone tells me why they do it, it's just asinine. Like I still don't understand. I still don't get it. It has no historical traditional value whatsoever. But to each their own at the same time, simultaneously, to each their own.
Well, so far I haven't had anybody that I've asked that question on the show say, "Fuck yes, glitter. Oh, I love glitter." I throw some tinsel.
But then there's so many people doing it. So.
Well, allegedly there's a lot of people doing it, but I
right.
haven't had anyone on the show yet that's one of those people doing it. Maybe it's just I accidentally pick them that way before I ask the question. I don't know. I don't know if I ever.
Right. Well, see, there was this one oil that a lady that I really appreciate did. She gave me, and it had glitter in it, but it was a king cake oil, like a homage to the king cake tradition in New Orleans. So, glitter kind of makes sense in a recipe like that, but at the same time, I just have a natural aversion to glitter. So, same issue.
Glitter in an oil, I still wouldn't do that, but that's a whole different animal. My whole problem is that glitter is plastic. It's plastic, and sometimes a little piece.
Right.
Of
that's my issue too.
And when he gets down the bottom of that candle, man, that last batch of black smoke that's going to come up, that's some toxic shit. And
yes.
Bad enough burning candles.
That's some toxic shit.
Space, but release this huge amount of toxins into your environment. And the clearest answer anybody ever gave me was it reflects your intentions back upon you. I go,
nah, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any. See, that's what I'm saying. Every time I get an answer, it's like, what? Yeah. Can you go into depth about why you feel that way? Because still, I'm not understanding. And I wish someone could. Someone told me that they use scarab beetles, for glitter back in the day in Egypt, and that's what makes it. That's what gives it validity. But I'm like, okay, once again, that's not glitter. That's scarab beetles, that reflect light. That's not glitter. Glitter is plastic. It has no no animalistic value, no animism to it at all. It never belonged to a living creature. So it's just still, it's a topic that gets under my skin a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. That's I never understood that answer, but I've heard a bunch of bullshit answers, but that was probably the clearest one ever. I'm trying to get right up on the mic now because in the chat room they're saying they can't hear me very well. They're hearing you, but not hearing me very well. I wonder if it happens.
Oh, what's up, chat room? How you doing? I didn't know there was a chat
room. Absolutely. Well, I just clicked on something. I don't know what that's going to do. Now I hear an echo, so I don't know if you're hearing that. Tell me in the chat room if you're hearing the echo now that I clicked that. As I don't want to do that. It's going to drive me crazy. All right. Well, I'll just try and be louder then. I know how to do that. Toxic, and then so for the people that absolutely wanted to have glitter, I went and looked. I just on a YouTube video, I said it out of my ass. I said cake glitter. I'll use cake glitter. And I didn't even know if there was cake glitter in the colors that I needed, but I just said that. And then I went to the store, and I went and looked. And even metallic colors like gold and silver. It was gold and silver food coloring or something like that. But it's sugar. It's going to sweeten your spell. Not going to be bad when it burns down. If you absolutely had to do glitter, I do that on occasion. But, yeah, maybe you guys don't understand. I'm not a glittery guy.
You're not a glittery guy. I'm not a glittery guy either. Like I don't appreciate the glitter. You know what I'm saying? But hey, to each their own. You can't knock it. That's what they want to do. So good for them. But none of my products will ever have glitter in them.
Yeah, a lot of people are very into packaging. I'm not. I probably
Yeah,
should
but
be
is
more
that
into
even good
but I'm just
packaging?
not.
Throwing glitter in?
Yeah, I guess. Glitter, and then I've even seen those little stars. Things even bigger than glitter. I've seen people put in there. It just makes no sense
like
to
money
me.
symbols, like the dollar symbol. Yeah, I've seen that.
Like your ancient
terrible.
hoodoo grandma. She was running down the store to grab some glitter to put in her fucking candles. Yeah, makes sense.
I don't really understand it, but are there any questions about who?
I don't know. Let's see. I don't see any. Yeah, you guys got any questions? Put them in the chat room. I don't know if he's in the chat room, but I'll read the questions. But how'd glitter get into the mix anyway? Somebody has said, and apparently we don't know. We don't know where the hell that came from.
You know how that happens. Somebody decided,
YouTube.
ooh, this would look pretty, may help me sell an oil if I put glitter in it. Makes sense to me, so I'm going to do it. And someone else said, oh, I'm going to do that too. And then before you knew it, everyone was putting glitter in their oils or on their candles or whatever they were doing with it.
Now that makes sense. Just a psychological marketing standpoint. People like sparkly things.
Ugh.
Shiny things.
I don't get it. No
glitter.
It's not my steez. It's not my thing.
Yeah. All right. Let's I haven't even queued up a song yet, but we should probably take a musical break. I need to grab a charger for one of these devices here. There we go. All right. We'll be right back.
Father, can you hear me? How have I let you down? I curse the day that I was born and all the sorrow in this world.
It is the 3rd of July, 2018. They're already starting to blow shit up out here. Going to be epic here the 4th of July. So Marta be slipping in and out throughout the show. She's down like marinating stuff and cutting things to get them ready. And don't you worry, I'll be the one cooking the shit while she's drinking tomorrow. So I'll be getting mine. We're getting ready for it. First 4th of July, we'd be able to see anything around here. And we got St. Elias on the line all the way from New Orleans. It's probably pretty epic. Every celebration's epic in New Orleans. I imagine 4th of July is pretty epic up there too.
It is. They celebrate all of July. It's not just the 4th of July. It's like July. It's nothing but fireworks. There was a lot of fireworks last night by the shop. We got to watch a show the other night, so that was fun. A little unexpected. Like I'm still wrapping my head around like just how long and how hard everything is celebrated in this city.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, this is our first one in this part of Hollywood and up high enough to see everything, so it's probably gonna be pretty crazy around here. But so we're preparing all day here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be crazy here. I got invited to a cookout, so that's fun. I'm going to go to a neighbor and hang with them for a second on the 4th of July. Tomorrow.
That's the tradition, burning things. They're talking in the chat room about the glitter. Some things are just not meant to be burned. But so many things are.
Ain't that the truth?
Witchcraft.
Yeah, many things are.
I always learned, you'd burn anything that can be burned after the spell should be removed from the physical plane by means of fire. It was like no candle drippings, nothing. If it can be burned, burn it. But yeah, don't burn glitter.
Don't burn glitter. I bury my work. I'll bury it in the place that is most conducive of the work. So if it's money drawn, I'll bury it at a bank. If it's uncrossing work, I'll bury it at a church, so on and so forth. But it's going somewhere.
Yeah. Well, we in my shop, probably like your shop, there were little altars everywhere with different things going on in different corners of the shop. We would save the drippings from all those candles. We put them in a big bag. And we hosted a full moon ritual every full moon, and down at the beach, the big fire pit, and we would use the bag of those drippings to start the fire. And the burning wax is just great for starting a fire, and all kinds of little spells and things that people had done at all these various altars suddenly manifest right about the full moon, right when we got rid of
Isn't that funny?
remains, So you get to experiment.
That's pretty cool.
When you got a shop. You get to experiment on things, stuff that people only do maybe once in their lifetime. You could be doing like 3-4 times a week.
Yeah, right? No, seriously. So with the oil bar, I'm just realizing how versatile that really is. Clients have specific needs, and it doesn't fall strictly into one category like Crown of Success or Money Draw, Fast, like stuff like that. You can mix and match, and I'm doing things that I could never do. Even when my clients came to my house, usually it was very specific things that they needed, but at the shop, there's just such a large variety of people, so many more people. I get the option of like really having fun with these oils and putting ingredients together for them at the oil bar. So you're absolutely right. I have my altars. I have an altar of, so far we just opened, so we only have 3 altars so far. But one is the working altar. So if someone needs to have something done specifically for them, they can request that their work goes on that altar and is kept in a separate room. And then we have, of course, our money drawing altar. We have our altar for protection to protect the storefront and the people in it. And of course, we want to have altars to certain deities as we begin to build up. But I wanted the store to have a resonance all its own. It has a mini ancestor altar. It has my ancestors on it. I don't keep candles on it because it's up on a shelf, and I don't I would fear one of those candles falling down and cracking somebody on the head. But yeah, maybe we should have a ritual just for the altars once a month.
Yeah, well, definitely have a lot of stuff to get rid of, I imagine. So I want to hear more about this oil bar. Explain to us how that works.
All right, so I have home recipes, my own recipes, about 15, 20 different oils that are intended to cause certain changes. So there is domination, there's follow me boy, there's love, there's uncrossing, there's banishing, there's black arts, there's van, some traditional recipes, and some that are relatively new that I've experimented with in my free time and know that they work and can show results. So those mother batches are on the oil bar, and they're sitting in a row. They're really pretty. We use oil droppers to fill 2-dram bottles for each and every client. What we can do with that oil dropper is be very precise about how much oil we're using and how we're mixing this recipe up. So let's say, for instance, I had a client who came in the other day, and she wanted Crown of Success because she was an ambitious woman who was trying to find a promotion and find new direction in her work environment. But she also felt like she was hitting a glass ceiling. And so we wanted to remove that glass ceiling by adding Abracamino, road opening herb, to her Crown of Success recipe. And that's exactly what we did. And it makes it so much easier when you have all the ingredients right there. We put our oils together right in front of our client's face. None of the oils are pre-bottled. If you want to oil, you're going to have a little class about what this oil can do and how to use it. It's a really great way to educate our community, even in the retail sense, even in a retail setting.
Well, I love that, of course. So, so you're mixing together different amounts of different oils. So are these extracts, essential oils? What are the different oils?
So it starts with a base oil, and then there's a recipe that's added to the oil. I like to tell people that these candles, these oils, these gree, these soaps, these washes, they're all carriers of the recipe. So it is the herbal mix or the root blend, and it's not all roots. Sometimes it's minerals, sometimes it's insects, sometimes it's it could be different things. But the oil carries the recipe, and so when I give you a 2-dram bottle of oil, it should have the spirit of the roots or whatever spirits that you included in the mother batch and the mother recipe itself. The oil undergoes a process of prayers and a double boiling process to release the oils within the herbs so that they marry the base oil perfectly. Everything is considered how it would affect someone's skin. Instructions are given on how to use the oil. Some of them you can wear, some of them you can't. Some of them you have to be very careful with and wear gloves if you are going to use it. But each and every one is very carefully considered. Each and every ingredient is carefully considered. And each and every one has been blessed by multiple times. I mean over and over and over and over and over again for a specific intent. I use my own oils for my spell work, so every time I do something, I'm blessing the bottle again. These people are getting high vibrating, if you want to use that word, oils that I've had numerous reviews of people coming back to me saying, I don't know what you put in this, but it really worked for me. And that's what I want to hear. I don't want someone coming to my shop, picking up a bottle of oil and, forgetting about it, letting it sit on the shelf. I want them to have a whole experience. I want them to know what the spirit of this work is. And it is creative. It is active. There's nothing stale about it. You don't just go to a shelf and pick something out. You have a little class about what you're doing. You get instructions on it. You get to watch it being bottled up right there. You get to see where it came from, and you get to see the love and the passion behind each recipe.
Wow. Of course I love that, because I have similar policies, which is probably why I'm so fucking behind. The cookie cutter magic people, the people that make a whole vat of oil at a time, it's like, God, they just get so much more done. But I don't know if what they're getting done's any good, really.
But do they? Like, I mean, your stuff your stuff should resonate. You know what I'm saying? Like, you make one bottle of oil and it'll echo in the world. You know, you should feel that. You should feel that power in the world, and it should return back to you. If you're not really doing it, or if you're kind of doing it, putting some shit in some oil and calling it something, it's just not the same thing, and it's not going to return to you in the same way.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel the same way about my candles. It's like there's several YouTube people that teach magic that buy my products, and I will be watching their video, and they'll be burning one of my candles. It's like, I know that candle. I remember that candle. I make thousands of candles, but they're my babies, man. And it's like, I know that one. Everyone's got, particular
I say that too
about it, and it just really does my heart well, seeing it out there in the world doing what it was born to do.
Yeah, I say that too. I say these are my babies, because when you're actually handcrafting it and you're watching, the amount of everything you're putting into it, you're spending time blessing every single thing, you're giving the offerings, you're spending time with it, you get attached to that. And you get to watch it. I mean, you get to be a part of it from the beginning to the end. So when someone else gets it, they don't know how it feels like one of your family members almost. It's weird. It's wonderful. That's how you know that it's something powerful. How can you get attached to something, that you're going to end up selling, or a small little greenery or a candle or an oil? How do you get attached to these things when you're creating it? It's so much more special. Than if you're just throwing it together and calling it something. And we know that so many people do that.
Yeah. Well, I'm not far from Indio headquarters here. Countless people.
You said it.
I always say it. I have countless people that ask me to like their online shop, and I'll go there, and it's a bunch of Indio products in a pile, or very nicely laid out bunch of Indio products that are either made in a sweatshop in China, or here in previously to before Trump started kicking out all the immigrants, there was what you'd have to call a sweatshop here in East LA manufacturing a lot of those products, but I don't know if they have enough employees
really?
now. And unfortunately I had to carry a line of those products for some time, because that's what the people wanted, and they would special order this stuff if I didn't put it on my shelves. And I sent somebody down to the factory one time, and she told me a story about how she was in the factory and stuck her finger in a vat of money oil, and looked at her and went, "Oh my God, your stinky ass finger in a vat of money oil. Oh God, I
Who
really
did
don't
that?
want to
Who
use
allowed
that."
her? Who allowed her to stick her finger in a vat of money oil? No one in the factory was watching their money oil?
Yeah, there's no security, nobody guarding the money oil. The people making the money oil, maybe
so they could just piss in the oil and no one would know.
Yeah. So yeah, I
so
think
someone could just go in there pee in a vat of money oil.
Yeah, I think that the people manufacturing your magical products are getting vibes on your magical products. And if those people are, working in a sweatshop and, slave labor, your money spell's probably not gonna do very well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you're really serious about your work, you're going to be really serious about every component of your work. You're going to make sure that you're getting it from some place that shows it love before it comes to you.
And now Walmart has a bunch of spiritual candles. People are getting them from there. Anything in Walmart's probably from a sweatshop somewhere.
Clean your candles before you use them. Clean them down. Make sure you get the sweatshop off of them before you start using them.
Yeah. At least if you have to use that crap, you probably want to cleanse the fuck out of it. Cleanse the fuck out of it.
Yeah. That's funny.
Which is, is adding to your expense. If you're trying to, save a buck, now you have to cleanse some shit too. Are you really saving a buck? That's what I always say. But the first witch store that opened in Santa Cruz carried mostly those products. And I always remember looking. There was a bottle of Come To Me oil, and it was red. And you look on the back, and it said, FD&C red #3 and fragrance. I said, oh, fuck yeah, that's the traditional recipe for fucking come to me oil. It's in all the books.
Yeah, right.
Sure, it's what your grandmother taught you.
You just gotta.
Grandmother taught you, right?
You have to. Right. Right. You have to be very out on the spiritual market about what you're buying. If I always say, if where you're buying your products from can't tell you how it was made and its intentions and how it works, you probably shouldn't be buying it. They have no clue where it comes from. It's probably mass produced. It's probably a bunch of synthetic shit in it that has no, spiritual / magical purpose at all.
Sometimes I don't know if you stop. Sometimes I don't know if you stop talking or it was another Skype lag. I get those right.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing Wi-Fi from the roof, so sometimes I need to hardwire my setup here. That's the only way that Skype doesn't lag, but not too bad. Not too bad. So let's see. So yeah, I saw you doing the assembly line of Mojo bags the other day on your Facebook.
Well,
I remember. That.
I try to make 20 at a time, just to keep the shelves stocked. I keep them in a special place so that no one's getting their stinky fingers on my Mojo hands. Yeah, you got to make it because otherwise they'll just fly off the shelf. I wish I could make them per for client. I mean, I make them per client for special orders if someone comes in and they have a specific need and they're willing to come up off with some personal concerns.
Yeah.
Other than that, you can feed your gree and it's going to work.
Yeah, you kind of have to in this day and age. It's like you can have the ability to custom make everything for your customers, but there's other levels of customers that will not ask, and they will not, they want to grab something off the shelf and not talk to anybody and pay their money and leave. And you got to have something for them too, But yeah, I would much rather do
that's true.
Go
and I
get
always
a custom Mojo,
Yeah, and I always say there's the front room, the middle room, and the back room. And so, the front room is retail. The middle room is more, we get more personal, start breaking your situation down and start making specific items just for you. And in the back room, that's a whole other story.
Nice. I like that kind of setup. That's kind of how I grew up. The first witch store, they had a front room that was, was kind of sedate. It was probably more, crystals and that kind of thing. And back room, there was where the witchcraft was. And then there was a back room where other stuff happened. Yeah.
That's where that's where the real work happens. That's when some life-changing work happens back there.
Yeah. I guess that's why they call it a storefront.
Right.
They got a store middle and a store back.
It's a store front, store middle, store back. Well, it stops being a store, I think, somewhere in the middle, and then it's completely not a store at all in the back.
Absolutely. I ended up with altars all around my store, and one day, one of the people that worked there, he told me that this woman that she traveled all over Mexico to these temples that were being closed down, and had gathered all the Santa Muerte statues from these temples that were being closed down. And would I be willing to set up an altar space and house her? I go, well, sure. I never met her. I don't know who she is, but okay, sure. What the hell? And this woman shows.
Wow, that's incredible.
It's like how I met her. I met her after the fact. I studied after the fact. I had to learn about her because here's the story. This woman shows up in front of my store with a station wagon, and she starts bringing these statues out, and it was like a clown car of death. They just kept coming, and they got bigger and bigger. There's one that's 7 foot tall. A 7 foot tall Santa Muerte, and then
that's what I'm talking about.
Stepping down from that size to the little tiny ones, and I'd agreed to do it. I had learned what an intense being I was dealing with, and I said, well, I'm certainly not going to say no now that I agreed to do it. I'm going to designate a piece of my store, and it turned out to be a huge chunk. It was about 5 foot across, 8 foot tall. Became the Santa Muerte shrine, and people came.
Well, you're lucky, man. You're lucky that you get those statues from the shrine, from those actual shrines of her. Like that's amazing. Now, I'm not a devotee of Santa Muerte, but I know a lot of people who are. My tarot reader, the girl who does tarot readings in my shop, she's a devotee of Santa Muerte, and I want to get some things in there to help her, talk to provide something for the people that she appeals to and the people that come to see her. About Santa Muerte, and since she started working there, I'm talking about Santa Muerte, and I'm like, I don't worship death. I don't worship holy death. I understand why some people will. That's not my thing. But I do find her to be a powerful being, and that's of course she is. It's death, So I'm learning just how powerful she is, and how many people have come to build a relationship with her. And I do think that that's a absolutely valuable relationship, to come to terms with one of the most powerful forces in the universe. If we talk about beginning and creation and deity, then we can also have a conversation about endings and death.
Yeah. Well, I guess for me, she was kind of an odd gateway to Palo. Before Palo was Santa Muerte, and then now, a whole section of my life is about death.
Right. Right. Yeah. Very cool. How long have you had your shop?
Oh, heck, 2000, May 1st, 2000. But I closed the brick and mortar, I think 3 years ago now. And I moved everything online.
18 years.
So I'm going the total opposite of what you're doing. But I personally haven't missed it. I did at least 15 years brick and mortar. So, they're 8 hours a day, most days a week. Rituals on the weekends, it's a constant job. And eventually for me, you probably won't have this problem. I was in too small of a pond. And I come to find that most of my living was coming from the internet. And you're in a whole different pond. I can't imagine. I think New Orleans and Salem, those are the two places I'd want to have a magical shop and be in a bigger pond. But that's just what I think.
Well, yeah, it comes with
about your pond.
Well, it comes with it comes with the whole. Man, this city is crazy. Like, it's crazy. And some of it's really, really fun crazy, and really, really good crazy, and powerful crazy as well. That chaotic energy definitely adds to your work. And then it's such a dead city. There's so many bones under the cement, so many bones in the cemetery. And, so mortals and the dead, run the street in New Orleans, but it's a crazy city. It's so saturated. It's so saturated with workers of all varieties, of all, of all paths, and they intersect. Literally and figuratively, they intersect. So it's interesting, the dynamic between workers and how that kind of affects just people who are living in the city. How, because you could see how these powers, how different power is bouncing around from these different sections of, the voodoo, the witchcraft, the kimbanda, the OTO, these different sections. And it's really interesting. It's definitely been a learning experience for me, to see all these different paths collide in a way.
Yeah.
A gumbo is truly a way of understanding what's happening here in New Orleans. And people get to learn from each other. That's beautiful. But also people disagree with each other, and it's a whole thing. And when you start getting into, being visible and having a shop, and, you come into a whole nother dynamic with people in the city.
I hear that. Well, I'm hoping to see it. You know, I'm sure you're going to be there next year. Now that I got my internet turned on, I got to complete my paperwork because I'm going to be presenting at HexFest next year. And my first time to New Orleans, and it's going to be hot as fuck, and I'm probably going to be dead when I see you. but I'm going to meet
you. Man, I swear to God, like you got to change your underwear 2 times a day in this city. Okay. Well, then change your shorts 2 times a day.
Okay. Well, that's like Hawaii. That's how Hawaii was.
That's cool, but let's. Oh well, yeah. Let's talk about. So you're going to be at HexFest. Are you going to be vending at HexFest?
No, I'm presenting. I got
Okay.
I got my internet. I got to fill out the paperwork, but.
Yeah, you could, because I had a hard time filling out the paperwork. Maybe it's just because I'm not very not. So, I had to actually, since the store's right there, I just went to the store and dropped it off. I guess you can mail it to them if it's like difficult for you to fill out online. It was terrible for me. I kept trying to send it, and they kept not getting it. Well, that's cool. What are you going to be teaching?
I believe it's going to be magical warfare.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. Magical warfare. Yeah, I like that.
It seems to be my most downloaded class at Gumroad is that series. Actually, that one's spiritual warfare. But then Christian Day mentioned, he said, well, I don't know, spiritual warfare sounds kind of Christian. I said, well, you sound kind of Christian.
Right.
But he had a point. So
that's funny.
Magical warfare.
But you know what? I like it.
Warfare.
I like it when it has like, I like when it has like Christian overtones, Christian undertones. I like when magic has Christian undertones. I don't know why. It's just something. It makes it even more special. It makes it even more like you're being a heretic. I don't know. It's really. I like it when and then you appeal because a lot of these people who practice are Christian. People like to think it's only the witches and all that. Nah, Christians get in on the game too.
Well, especially in your neck of the woods, Conjure and Hoodoo. Yeah, you got a lot of people.
Yeah, they're all up in here.
Well, but I'm also Strega, and in Strega we got a lot of people think that they're Catholic, and they kind of are Catholic because Catholics made it really easy to hide yourself within their religion. That's their fault.
Yeah, right. That's their fault. And I always say like a conjurement is somewhere between a witch and a preacher. So you kind of have to be a little bit of both. You have to talk to a person and try to inspire them to grow, and kind of look for their personal God, and then you also have to get down and dirty with them, in the shed.
Yes.
So
definitely down and dirty. Yes.
You got to be a little bit of both.
Multitask. All right. We should cut to a musical break. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Widdershins.
Absinthe is the aphrodisiac of the self. The green fairy who lives in the absinthe wants your soul.
Shadows on the walls are dancing your trip to Wonderland has finally come to an end. And if you're not completely mad, I will be your best friend. As I was going over the Cork and Kerry Mountains, I saw Captain Pharaoh and his money he was counting. I first produced my pistol and then produced my rapier. I said, stand over your liver, or the devil, he may take you. Rush your ring, dum-a-doo-dum-a-da. Wait for my daddy-o. Wait for my daddy-o. There's whiskey in the jar. I took all of his money, and it was a pretty penny. I took all of his money, and I brought it home to Molly. She swore that she loved me, never would she leave me. But the devil take that woman, for you know she treat me easy. Must you ring, dum-a-doo-dum-a-da. Wait for my daddy-o. Wait for my daddy-o. There's whiskey in the jar. Being drunk and weary, I went to Molly's chamber, taking my Molly with me, and I never knew the danger. For about 6 or maybe 7, in walked Captain Pharaoh. I jumped up, fired up my pistols, and I shot him with both barrels. Mush a ring, dum-a-doo-dum-a-da. Wait for my daddy-o. Wait for my daddy-o. There's whiskey in the jar. Now some men lie. cannonball rolling. With me, I like sleeping, especially in my mindless chamber. But here I am in prison. Here I am with a ball and chain, yeah. Much a ring, gumma do, gumma die. Work for my daddy-o. Work for my daddy-o. There's whiskey in the jar. And I got drunk on whiskey-o. And I
Who the hell was that? Thin Lizzy on Widdershins Radio. Where I got to tell you, people, when you're listening to Spreaker, you got to follow the shows. Everybody on here. We got, I know Ambrosine Laguerre's got Liquid Libations pops on randomly whenever she wants to. Candelo's on like 4 times a day nowadays. Maybe a new show starting up. If you don't follow the shows, you're never going to know. And, you know, if you haven't followed us, you got to follow us too. You're right there. You can get in the chat room. There's all kind of people in there chatting their fingers off right now in the chat room, and you could be amongst them if you just follow. You can set up an account at Spreaker with a couple clicks using your Facebook account, and 2 more clicks if you don't use your Facebook account. It's easy to do. Set it up, follow the shows that you want to follow, and you'll know when they randomly go on the air, because we can do that with our packages. We can go randomly on the air whenever the heck we want. So follow. We are here with St. Elias from Crescent City Conjure in New Orleans. And what the hell were we talking about? Were we talking about anything? I think we were talking about something.
We were talking about everything.
So you've been open. You've been open a couple weeks now. It's going good in your neighborhood.
Yes.
You got to deal with some crazy people too.
It's going good in the neighborhood. No, so we aren't in the quarter. Originally, I thought I wanted to be in the quarter because that's where everybody else is. But being in this neighborhood, we're in the historic Marigny neighborhood of New Orleans, and it's much more of a community here. So we know our neighbors. They come in and talk to us, and that feels really, really good. We've had a couple of crazy people, yes, a couple, like 2, literally. But I was, I want to say that I was able to diffuse those situations. Working on my interpersonal relationships with people I don't know, because I'm coming from, dealing with people that I do know, having a relationship with them, and then people being able to just come in the shop whenever they want is a new thing for me. So sometimes people, don't know what they're talking about, or they have a misconception of what I'm doing, what the shop is, and you have to kind of be extremely patient with them. A new level of patience with them.
Yes. Become a PR guy and a public figure, and neighborhood relations guy.
Yeah, all of that. And I like it. We did the crawfish boil, and then in August, we have a cookout plan for the neighborhood. And then after August, I'm going to start up the classes so that people can come and hear what I have to say, hear what other people have to say who come into town. We'll be teaching at the class. And I really want this place to, I believe that Crescent City Conjure already is a community. We've spent a lot of trust with the people that we work with. So, I think it's already a community, but I want to be a physical community, one that, and I always say, if you go on the website, it says we are a beacon of the community. And what that means to me is no matter who you are or what you practice, or if you practice anything at all, you'll always be able to find someone who you can relate to. You'll always be able to find someone that you could vent to, someone who's going to listen, someone who cares, and someone who's going to do their best to help you out.
I hear that. So you have like community gatherings. I saw a hell of a barbecue going on there one day.
Yeah, it was a crawfish boil. So I boiled up some crawfish for. It was really great. I got to meet some people who practiced conversation. And what I want, and one thing that I think is going to help make us different than other shops is we take requests. So if someone needs something in their personal practice, we'll order that, or we'll depending on what it is. And like you said, your people in your shop, they were making requests, special ordering things. And I want this neighborhood in particular to be able to do that at this shop. I don't want it just to be a cookie cutter shop at all. I want it to be very special.
Nice. Well, community's lucky to have you.
Well, I'm lucky to have them too. I mean, I learn from everybody, that we get to, have conversations and continue to grow together.
Well, that's a good way to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So let's see. So you've got, okay, we talked about the shop. You got your YouTube channel. You should probably give the address for that. Or does it all go through your webpage?
Everything is just, everything is just my namesake, Crescent City Conjure. So I'm a practitioner of hoodoo and of European witchcraft and maybe a couple of other things, possibly.
Yeah. I feel
So that's what I do, and that's what I talk about, and that's what I want to bring to the community. I try to teach them about the history of hoodoo, how it is a result of the transatlantic slave trade, how it is African American folk magic. It's an old practice, but it still has a resonance within African American culture. It's still happening. It's not something that used to happen and then it's just gone away. We always bring attention back to slavery. We always bring attention back to Africa, especially the western parts of Africa where the slave trade happened. But I also want to talk about how the young people out here are still doing it, how it's still growing. It really is an organic tradition. As the people grow and evolve and learn, so does the practice. And so there's a whole nother conversation that's rising up about hoodoo that wasn't being talked about before, and that's how does it express itself today? Not how it expressed itself, back then, but how is it still practiced? How are the generations after us going to carry this work on?
Wow. Well, I'll tell you, I've been in the witchcraft game a long time, obsessed by every type of magic that is out there, and hoodoo's definitely in an upsurgence, an upheaval. A lot of popularity. Hoodoo, Conjure, even the ATRs. I'm seeing just a huge upsurge in recent years. So definitely a good time for opening such a shop.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess it's a good time to educate people, but it's also a bad time for the consistency of the practice because we started this conversation off with talking about glitter, So then you got so then you got all of that, Then you got the people who, I think that it's okay to, I think it's okay to discover some new things. You can never take someone's creativity away, but also, you don't want it to become the new Wicca, the out the box, shop witchcraft, not what I would consider witchcraft, but Wicca, which is like the mass consumption stuff, that people find online and can get anywhere and haven't dedicated any time or energy or sacrificed anything to obtain. So it's just different.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, in your position, you've got to have all sides. You got to pay the rent, and enough real practitioners. Maybe you have enough to pay the rent, but you're going to need the tourist traffic too. You're going to need the off the shelf stuff too. There's people that a lot of people, maybe it's just a trend for them, but they're still going to help you pay.
Well,
the rent.
Well, what I'm finding is that if I actually sit someone down and talk to them about how this is actually, used and where the power really comes from, I talk about our ancestors, I talk about the power of roots and herbs and how they go into these different things and how they cause the change. I hope I never get to, I have to, sell something that's just tourist trappy. I hope not,
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, you gotta keep the lights on. But I think I can do that by just being real with folks. What are you looking for? What are you hoping to accomplish? I am very blunt sometimes about certain products because people will come in and ask for, like you said, they'll ask for the stuff that, and I'll tell them, hey, I wouldn't be using that if I were you because it doesn't work. And that's just what it is. To me, when I do my work, I actually have plans on it manifesting. So if you want that to happen for you, you might want to use something that could actually do that.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that.
Yeah, well, thank you. I might need it, but
like that, I've definitely been like that too. I totally feel where you're coming, but it's just so many people that won't listen. So many people don't want to learn.
Yeah.
They want to pick up something in their travels.
Just like a souvenir more than anything.
My competitor
right?
was much more into like jewelry and sparkly things and crystals, and as such did better. I didn't have so much of that.
Oh,
stuff.
wow. Well, see, you know what I learned? There's a woman in New Orleans, and I'm sure you know her. Everyone knows her. She's been here for 30 plus years. Priestess Miriam, great respect in the community. What I really like about her is that she's not trying to get rich. She's not really trying to have like this huge financial success. She's really just trying to keep the lights on, and as such, she gets to be a little more raw, a little more real with people, and that's what I want to do. I want to maintain the authenticity. I want to maintain the love and the joy I do for my work, and I don't want people walking around with keychains. You know what I'm saying? I don't want people walking around with sparkly, glittery things. And I'm not going to knock anything that's sparkly or glittery. Even the people who put glitter in their stuff, I mean, hell, their recipe may be bomb. Their recipe may be great. And I try not to judge too much. And then there are the things that, everyone knows it doesn't have anything in it. Maybe it could use some glitter. That would be better than nothing, So I try to tell people, hey, if you're going to use something, and you're going to go and tell all your friends, hey, I tried this thing that didn't do anything, I'd rather you sit down and listen to what's worked for me and why, and then we can go from there.
Yeah. Well, if you get classes going, that's always a good thing. You get better customers as a result. You get educated customers because you educated them.
Right. True. Well, we're headed towards classes. Hopefully starting in or close to October. Headfest is in August, and then after that, I feel like the big push for the store, the big hurdles, the big events will hopefully settle down a little bit, and then I can do more niche stuff like classes and do more niche stuff like rituals in the shop, and then there'll be a whole nother jump to decide what information I want to share and what I actually want to do in these rituals that aren't going to cross any lines there too.
Well, that's cool if you got the space for it. Use the space. So I always said,
use the space.
Any space that isn't. I mean, you're paying for the place 24/7. If there's not anything going on after hours, you're losing money.
Yeah, yeah. Ain't that the truth? I mean, it's just this whole storefront is just initially it's just like money's just coming out. It's just pouring out and nothing's coming in. And so you have to. I mean, thank God I was prepared for that, and I kind of anticipated that drain. Before I opened the doors. Now we're good. Now we're seeing that income coming in. We're already beginning to define our voice a little more, or I'm just beginning to define my voice. I mean, I have an amazing team behind me. I couldn't do this myself, but we're all working together and trying to figure out how can we best share what's special to us. And I think that's really important.
Nice. So you got a good group of people, hand-making products. That's always good. It's always so much better than a sweatshop,
It's a little better than a sweatshop.
Yeah,
it is great. The people who love, I mean, because they're learning too. They're learning, what these recipes are and why and how they work and when they should be applied. I had a guy who started with me, I think 2 years ago. And yesterday he said something to a client. If it's something that I would have said to a client about their personal work and about how our products could help them in their. So just to see that growth, that glimmer of growth, was great.
Wow, I think people are quite fortunate actually to land that kind of job. It's not that, if that's the kind of thing that interests you, it's not that easy to get a job in the industry. And that's how I started out. I grew up in the back of this witch store, and eventually I was learning how to make incense and oils. And,
yeah.
I've told the story before on probably my YouTube channel. I ditched school so long that they kicked me out of one. They sent me to another one. I think I went one day to that school, and then I ditched. I was in the back of the witch store all day, every day. And the next stop for me would be the future high school of Snoop Doggy Dogg. So it was like in Criptown, Long Beach.
Oh wow!
I said, I think I've been sent to enough schools. Clearly, I'm not going to go. I'm going to take that GED and get the fuck out. Study witchcraft full time. Kids stay in school. I don't recommend that, but it worked out for me. Working in a store, doing that kind of stuff, or a Conjure store. You may make 20 Mojo bags in a year for yourself, but you make 20 of them in a day. 20 for each category. You're gonna learn some shit.
Yeah,
stuff you pick up.
Yeah, you're gonna learn some shit. You're gonna learn some shit, and you're gonna learn it quick.
Yeah. Dressing candles all day
you're going to learn
long.
some shit quick.
If you have like a candle dressing station or people doing that kind of stuff, it's like, how many candles do you dress in your lifetime? If you're dressing them for other people, you learn a lot of shit. It's a valuable skill. You could have your own shop someday.
Yeah. Yeah, you learn it quick. I mean, this has always been, like, for me, this calling is something that I just can't fight or help. And so I really don't know how I didn't like trip up, and make a huge mistake to the point where I wasn't able to open a store, or how I was so self-controlled to where I had the capital to actually do it. It's truly a blessing. I'm extremely grateful, and I'm humbled. I'm humbled with just how much the community and supported Crescent City Conjure, has supported me and what I'm doing, and how I've been able to give back. It really is something that I hope continues in a huge way. I couldn't have imagined this. I mean, seriously, I decided to open the store probably 2 months ago. 2 months ago, I decided to open the store, and boom, here we are. I don't know how long it takes the average person to. Yeah. And so it's just. It really is. It's magic, man. It's fucking magic. And so, it's when people say, what do you think about this product? You have people come to the shop. Does this stuff work? And I look around and I'm like, yeah, it does. And this is my biggest proof of it working. You know, we all have internal things that happen and personal experiences, but this is my biggest. You know, you ask for something and you listen, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to manifest that.
Absolutely. And, you know, if you're doing okay already, then you're great. You know, I'm glad you planned to not make anything right away. Most people don't do that. And most people don't do any study. And actually, the experts say when starting a new business, the plan needs to be no income for up to 5 years. That's what the experts say now. And if it didn't take you 5 years, you're doing well, brother.
Yeah. Well, geez, 5 years. Goodness.
It would
no
really
income.
Be hard to plan for
I get it.
Have that capital set aside, but that's what the experts say.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we're doing profit. I mean, so far we're doing pretty well. It hasn't. Well, I guess we have been open for about 4. I guess in business about 4 years. So it's a little different. Even though we have the physical shop, we've been online for a while. So we've already built that recognition for the business.
Well, see, that's what a lot of people overlook. You know, if you establish yourself online first, that's much better. I think I did it backwards. I established myself on. I mean, online really wasn't a huge thing back then. You know, 2000. You know, everything wasn't e-commerce. So yeah, I went backwards than most people. But yeah, you know, you get an online presence. You know, YouTube presence. Get your name out there. I definitely knew you before you had a shop.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you know, but it's hard. Yeah, a real brick and mortar. But you know, it's hard because, you know, we start off in musty ass rooms studying, you know, books and practicing. It can be solitary at times, and if it's not solitary, then it's a really small group of people that you're working with, and everything's extremely sacred and secret. And so, trying to put yourself out there, man, the anxiety of putting myself out there and talking about what I love on a more open and public stage, it damn near killed me. I mean, for real, like it really did do a number, you know, because you're really concerned about at least I was really concerned about people's opinions, about what would they think that I'm putting this information out there, that I'm saying what I'm saying, that I'm standing behind it, and that I'm saying that I love this and I want to teach people some of it. What would they say? What would they think? And that was a big fear. And I kind of just did it anyway. You know. And a lot of that I give to my spirits, you know, to tell them thank you for allowing me to get over some of that fear and get over some of that doubt and do it anyway. And then after a while, that goes away. After a while, you're like, hey, this is what it is. I'm not concerned about anyone's opinion. This is what I do. This is what I love. And this is in here. You know, you can have some of this information to hopefully start your journey and figure out what it is that is important for you.
Absolutely. Well, hey, Sen Elias, been our guest tonight. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. This has been fun.
You're our first guest since we got set up on our new place. We had to wait for our internet. Actually, my internet sucks so bad I ended up using my phone for a hotspot anyways. It seemed to work out okay. But
how was your new space?
It's incredible. It's we are in the heart of Hollywood. I think you can hear the roar of the traffic. We have a terrace on the roof, so I like to be outside when I do the show, even though it's noisy as fuck. Actually, there's probably less helicopters than our old place, so that's not so bad. We're still unpacking. Got a lot of people coming over tomorrow, but boxes everywhere.
Well, that's ambitious to be moving and still doing the radio show. I mean, to me, that talks about your commitment to spirit and what you have to do. You know, regardless of what you have going on in your life, there are just some things that must get done.
The spirits must go on. Sen Elias,
yes,
plug
absolutely.
Everything you got to plug.
All right, so you can find me. I like, people to find me in person, so come see me in New Orleans at the shop, 2407. I'm sorry, that's another address, at 2402 Royal Street. You can find the shop. You can find me online, CrescentCityConjure.us. Classes are coming soon. I'm doing a class at Hex Fest and here in New Orleans in August. And that's really about it. I mean, I'm sure I got some other stuff going on, but I can't remember it right now. So just just look for it, the YouTube, all that.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on. I'm sure we'll be having you on again. St. Elias, Crescent City Conjure.
Yes, sir. Well, it was a pleasure.
Thanks for getting your Widdershins on. Talk to you later.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. Good night.
All right. You are listening to Widdershins, Radio for Spiritual Side. Twisted approach for the left-hand path. We got to rock out to the end of the show, but I got to tell you, too, you can find us at thesacredgrovestore.com. If you're listening to us live and you're in a hurry, don't be in a hurry, or send me a message telling me you're in a hurry, but I am behind in my orders right now. So you can find us at gumroad.com/witchschool. That's WITCHSKEWL. And let's see, YouTube at Freakville1309. That's FREAK, and the number's PHIL. And the number, PHIL, and the number's 1309. Also, Widdershins Radio at gmail.com. We are taking on our first sponsors now. We've reached the stage where we've been on long enough, got enough listeners, start selling advertising. So you want to sponsor Widdershins? You want our unique way of talking about your product, which will be an art form, as you might imagine. Get a hold of us, widdershinsradio at gmail.com. We are here every Tuesday, 5 p.m., unless we say otherwise on our Facebook pages. And then we tend to pop up at a random time. So if we're not on Tuesday, we might be on Wednesday. We might be on Thursday. We're usually on Tuesday. But if you don't follow the show, you don't know. I already told you about that. I am Uncle Birch. I am Michael Carell, and I gotta go.
Didn't know what time it was, the lights were low. Oh, oh. I leaned back on my radio. Oh, oh. Some cat was laying down some rock and roll, that is all he said. Then the loud sound, it seemed to fade. Came back like a slow voice on a wave of fade. That wasn't no DJ, that was hazy cosmic jive. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to blow it, 'cause he knows it's all worthwhile. He told me, let the children lose it, let the children use it, let all the children boogie. Switch on the TV, we may pick him up on channel 2. Look out your window, I can see his light. If we can sparkle, he may land tonight. Don't tell your papa, or he'll get us locked up in flight. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to blow it, 'cause he knows it's all worthwhile. He told me, let the children lose it, let the children use it, let all the children boogie. Starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to blow it, 'cause he knows it's all worthwhile. He told me, let the children lose it, let the children use it, let all the children boogie. Like a rock, like a planet, like a fucking atom bomb. I'll remain unperturbed by the joy and the madness that I encounter everywhere I turn. I've seen it all along, in books and magazines, like a twitch before dying, like a pornographic scene. There's a bar behind the window, there's an ugly laughing man, like a hummingbird in silence, like the blood on my door. It's a generator. be clean and I will run until I reach the shore. I've known it all along, like the bone under my skin, like actors in a photograph, like paper in the wind. There's a hammer by the window, there's a knife on the floor, like turbines in darkness, like the blood on my door. It's the generator. Oh yeah, like the blood